Hey, what's up, everybody? Cartez Ross here with Move Abroad and Thrive.com. So, man, I got a lot of stuff to share with y'all. It's been a while since I gave y'all an update about the shenanigans that I got going on here in Mexico. Great place to live. Does it have its problems? Of course it does. And I want to share those with you, but I would not give this place up at all. Not even an option. I got a lease. I got bills I'm paying. We're taking Spanish classes. The kids are acclimating to local community, getting involved, and so there's just a lot of stuff to share with you. So first, before I get into all of that, I get a lot of questions from people asking me why. Did you leave the U.S.? Why are you in Mexico? Why were you looking at going into Colombia? So let me break that down for you. So I'm 47, about to be 48 soon, basically pushing 50 years old. And 15 years from now, I'll be 65 essentially, and time to retire. For the last 20 years, I've taken care of my family of 7 from income exclusively from the internet. Put kids in private school, living in big fancy houses, driving big fancy cars, just making a boatload of money. My gift, my talent is making money, seeing opportunities, seeing how people can monetize their talents, monetize their skill sets, showing businesses how they can expand, how they can grow rapidly. That's a gift that God has given me. I can see opportunities, I can see money in everything, point blank. Even if you don't think there's money there, I can find it, and I have this ability to make it quick. That's my gift. Now, I make money, I make lots of money, fast money. I like that fast money, but the problem with fast money and making money, none of it matters if you don't save any of that money. So as quickly as I was making money, I was blowing money, squandering all my money. Didn't plan for retirement. So those 20 years I was making all that money, supporting my family, I wasn't saving none of it. I wasn't investing none of it. No 401ks, no IRAs, no maximizing any of those opportunities. Just been living in the moment, literally living in the moment. However, I do see the writing on the wall. I'm not crazy. 15 years from now, I'm not trying to be hunched over a computer, trying to do coding, trying to learn how to do landing pages and funnels. I'm not trying to keep up with Google algorithms at 65. My brain, I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm not trying to do it at 50, and that's in a couple of years. There's some other things I want to get into. I believe I'm being called to ministry. But God still gotta purge some things out of my system, like my mouth. I like to cuss, even though I don't cuss online. I cuss. I got a cussing problem, and but I'll get into all that later on. So I'm here trying to play catch up. So I was doing some research. I was planning. I was strategizing. I was saying, okay, I got 15 years to get this right. What can I do to make this work? What can I do? Because I like, while I don't necessarily follow a plan all the way, I do like to strategize. And so I was like, how can I cut my living expenses, and not just living expenses, just cutting down my overall cost of living? What it costs me to live every month and support my kids and family. What can I do to drastically reduce that by 50 to 60%? So I kept doing my research while maintaining the same quality of life. So the only option that kept coming back up was go back to Colombia, where cost of living was significantly cheaper. And so I kept doing some thinking and strategizing, doing some more research. I love Medellin. Everybody who knows me knows I love Medellin. Medellin is always a destination that I was going to go back to, but I was going to wait till my 2 younger kids, got all the kids, 5 children, only 2 left at home now. So my plan was when the two younger ones were older, finished high school, then I would jet out then. But we talking about another 4 or 5 years for that. So I was like, no, we got to do this now. We got to do this now. Got to figure this out. Plus, they were home. They still are homeschooled, so it was easy just to go. So it was like, all right. I was doing my research. I said, Medellin ain't gonna be an option because cost of living is going up there. It's increasing. More and more tourists are moving there. Expats are coming in, and I didn't want to. And plus, it was crowded, and I didn't want to be in a place where a bunch of folks were at. So I was like, let me go around and travel around Colombia for a few months and find other less known cities that are cheaper and that I can live in. And so I did my research, found a few cities, decided to travel, go stay in some of these cities to check them out. And I found quite a few cities. I was like, okay. I was like, man, you know what? Ibagué, Manizales, those are the top 2 cities for Colombia that I found. And matter of fact, before I go further, if you're watching this video, you've been watching the videos on YouTube, it might seem kind of confusing because some of y'all still think I'm in Colombia. But currently, after this video, I'm now in Mexico. The videos that I'm uploading have been shot a few months ago, the Colombia videos. I just finally got some time where I'm able to upload them to YouTube. And so now I'm trying to catch up to where I'm at now, currently in Mexico. So I wanted to clarify that. So when I got to Ibagué, I'm finding these places, man, you can get apartments and condos for like $350, $375 a month, including all the utilities, Netflix, internet, your electric bill, all of that. And I'm like, man, it might work. So I hopped the plane, went to these cities, and wanted to check it out for myself. And lo and behold, those numbers were for real. I lived in some of those places. I made videos of me living in some of those places. Now I got pictures of some of these places so y'all can see them. Immaculate. Quality of living, just as good in these different cities in Colombia as it was in the United States. So why did I end up in Mexico? Well, during that time when I was in Colombia, they had some riots that pop off and they got kind of violent. And it wasn't necessarily the violence or the riots that made me leave. It was that in combination with the pandemic. Colombia, lots of places in Colombia had just completely shut down all the way. And so I was like, man, I can't be locked up in the house all day. So I decided I'd come to Mexico and just hang out here until things cooled down in Colombia. Then I would go back and find my place. That was the plan. I had narrowed it down to 2 cities, Manizales and Ibagué. And when I went back, I was going back to decide, choose between those 2 cities, and I was going back to find an apartment or a condo to stay in, live in. That was the plan. But when I got to Mexico, fell in love with Mexico. Merida, that's where I'm at now. Merida, how you would say it from Americans' perspective. Merida is how the locals say it. So fell in love with this place. This place is off the chain. It's hot, but for all the benefits and the perks that you get with being here, the hot just, no, I'm not giving up all of this stuff because it's hot. No. My stuff's still running, baby. Yeah, I was doing I was doing this segment earlier and then stopped recording. So I like Mexico. Mexico, great. The cost of living is good. Now, it's cheap as Colombia in some regards, no. But there's sometimes it balances out. It seems like it matches. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna get into all that, but it's very, very comparable. Closer to the United States. Infrastructure setup is much more similar to the United States, more so than, say, Colombia. And the number one reason why I chose this part of Mexico, Merida, is the safety factor. Much more safer than Colombia. Stats back that up as well. You just have a lot more peace of mind walking the streets here not worried about anybody robbing you, taking your stuff. You can be as completely free as you were in the United States. You want to record with your cell phone, you got a big brand new iPhone, and you want to record and pull it out and make record, you can do that here all day. If you're in Colombia, they're constantly telling you to put your phone in your pocket, don't leave it out, don't let people see what you got, because it's common for folk to come up there and snatch your stuff, ride up on you on motorcycles, take your stuff, rob you. And robbing is a pretty common thing. They just tell you, hey, if you get robbed or get stuck up, hand it to them. You know, the general rule of thumb, if you don't resist, you're not gonna get hurt. I don't even have to worry about any of that here. So for me, with 2 kids and stuff that are here, it was like, it's a no-brainer. And I'll go more into detail about that in a moment. But from a safety perspective, I just felt better being here, 100%, hands down. So that's why I'm here in Mexico, Merida. Got a beautiful home, significantly less than what we would spend back in the United States. I signed up for a phone service today. In fact, AT&T, because I have a phone, my iPhone that I brought down. It had a dual SIM card, eSIM, electronic SIM card. So I was able to get that done here at AT&T. I paid $80 for the whole year. I think I got like 3 or 4 gigabytes of data, which it don't sound like a lot, but the way their plans work down here is if I was on Facebook, it don't count against me. So I have unlimited, so in addition with them 3 to 4 gigs, I also have unlimited usage on Facebook, unlimited usage on Twitter, unlimited usage on TikTok, unlimited usage on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is an app that they generally use to communicate with down here. WhatsApp, I'll make a video about WhatsApp another day. That deserves a video by itself. But that's how most folks talk on the phone to their family and friends. That's how you communicate with local businesses, through WhatsApp. So these primary apps that you're using, you have unlimited access to it, and it doesn't count against your gigs. So 3 to 4 gigs, you get by with me every month. So that's $80 for the whole year. It comes out to about what, $7 a month? And they have some bigger plans, 8 gigs, 10 gigs, unlimited, way cheaper than the phone plan. I mean, just on the phone plan, I'm saving money. Man, my cell phone bill with Verizon, you know, I'm embarrassed to say, but man, I pay $90 a month just for my phone, just so I can have some hotspot on my phone. I mean, for real, hotspot and unlimited talk, text, and data, $90 a month. Insane. Now, I know some of y'all might be like, man, why are you paying all that? You could get the other plan for $60, $50. It ain't cheaper than $7 that I'm paying right here. You know what I'm saying? So again, my goal, cut expenses. My food bill is cheaper, my groceries, so I pay less for food without all the extra GMOs and antibiotics, well, not necessarily antibiotics, but hormones they be adding to the stuff. I mean, the food, it took a while to kind of get adjusted to eating some of the meat, eating some of the, drinking some of the stuff, because they don't add so much salt, they don't add so much sugar, they don't add so much chemicals to the food. The food even look different. I've always been a person who would never buy meat from Walmart in the United States. I was like, heck no, we ain't buying no meat from no Walmart. Cause we would buy some meat and meat, it'd be bad. I banned meat from Walmart in my house some years ago, about 10 years ago. Meat from Walmart was banned. But then I come down here to Walmart, I've never seen meat so fresh and clean and pure that I had to take photographs of it. I got a video of it, I'll post it. That meat looks so good, it don't even look remotely close to the meat that we got in the States. So I'm like, man. And then I did some research, of course. A lot of the stuff that we put in our meats, is banned in this country. They like, oh, we can't import your stuff. Y'all got this stuff in here, we can't. So if y'all want to bring y'all meat in here, y'all got to take this stuff out. You can't put this in the meat. You can't do this. I mean, even the sodas here, they're not allowed to put corn syrup in it. So Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola, they had to use cane sugar. They were like, no, if y'all want to sell y'all products here, you can't use that corn syrup. But they feed us corn syrup in everything in the United States. Just bad for you. Stuff they be putting in the meat is illegal here. You know what I mean? So you don't even really have to change your diet just because you're eating better food. Many of you just lose weight without even trying. You know what I'm saying? The same amount of food, same meat, same product is better for your system. That's what I'm talking about. So it's insane. So better quality food. I bought a watermelon the other day, cut the thing up, full hundreds of seeds in the watermelon. Now think about this. This generation of young folk, some of these folks have never seen a watermelon with seeds in it. You imagine growing up your whole life eating watermelon with no seeds in it, and that is normal to you because you never seen what a real watermelon fruit should look like? I mean, so all the fruits here got seeds in them, and the quality and the taste, you can taste it from the first bite. You know what I mean? So everywhere I go, I can order fresh juice, get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and the vegetables just look great. You know what I mean? So again, quality of life. So my goal was to cut my expenses. So I was able to cut it in my groceries as well, while getting better quality food with less poison in the food. So I know this channel is not going to be like most folks' channel. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk a long time, go in depth about some information, about some stuff, and so that y'all can get the full picture. You know what I'm saying? So cost of living, I'm just going to refresh my notes. So cost of living. So I want to cut my expenses so that I can catch up, invest money, save, look at some other investment opportunities. I've always said I wanted to buy into other businesses. So now that I can sit down and focus and strategize, as over the next 1 to 2 years, I'll be in a position to look at buying some businesses so I can make income that way. I hope to be in maybe 2 years from now, hopefully maybe pay cash for a property or two. Colombia is still on my radar. Colombia is not eliminated. It's a place I still would love to live, or at least own property. So when I was in Ibagué, I came across condos that was being sold for like $27,000. I can afford to buy 1 or 2 or 3 of those. So in Ibagué, where I think will become a fast growing city. So I can get in on the ground floor and buy property that generate income and have a place where I can live and my kids can have and go to once I'm dead and gone. You know what I'm saying? Leaving a little legacy behind. So these next 15 years are very important in how I strategize and move along in these next 15 years. So right now I'm doing a lot of research, I'm doing a lot of studying on ways to grow my money. I make a lot, but I've done poorly managing it. This time I want to manage it well, be strategic in what I do and how I move forward. Because I want my money to work for me as I move into the future. Because again, I'm not trying to keep up with all this stuff. I want to be smart this time around. Ain't nothing worse than making a. Now I ain't gonna lie. If I had to do it again, I'd probably blow all my money because I had a good time living. You know what I mean? it's, and the reason I never learned my lesson is because I can go blow all my money, and then a day or two later, I got more money coming in. It's always being replaced. The next week I got more. Sometimes I have more than I had the week before. I might blow it all this week, go buy, wake up one day and I want to go buy that Benz, that S600 S-Class Mercedes Benz. Went and got it. And then I be broke. But then that week, I got a big chunk of money coming in. So I never learned my lesson. You know what I mean? That's the worst thing that you could have, is making all this money, you blow it, and then it's replaced the next day or the next week. It's replaced. You don't learn. But again, I'm smart enough to know that this gravy train ain't gonna last long. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm here. Play catch up, strategize, do things different, and get better. So why do I like Mexico? I've already explained that. The safety factor, cost of living. The folks here are just friendly. Police are just friendly. In fact, I was, of all days, when I didn't have my camera running, was walking across the street, and you know how you get off the interstate, it brings you down a little ramp where you can exit off the interstate. And so it was kind of late in the day, traffic was bad. So there's a bunch of cars coming there and I couldn't just get across. So I had walked past a policeman that was standing out there, and we spoke for a second. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" Waved me down. We chit-chatted for about a minute. And then I walked to the edge of the road waiting to cross. And he was like, "So you trying to get across? You trying to get over?" I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to get over there." And this joker just walk in the middle of the street, stop them jokers, and they honking horns. If you hear, they like to honk their horn. Dun, 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 dun. And he's like this. And he pointing at me saying, "Well, the guy got to cross the street, and you gonna wait your behind right here until he crossed the street." And so he just throwing hands up at the guys. They kind of chit-chat, going back and forth. I crossed the street and I'm just laughing to myself. I'm like, that's why I like Mexico. Your car break down on side of the road, the police is helping you out. They pulling over, they helping you out. You know what I mean? Public service to the 10th degree. They are helping you out. You lost and need some help, go up to any police officer, they ecstatic to help you. You know what I mean? They go out of their way to help. So they're great folks here, man. Now, some cons about living here. Oh my God. You gotta have some patience, because these folks here, they work on a different time. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. It's just something that you got to get used to. In the U.S., everything is quick, boom, 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 boom. If you tell somebody you're going to be at your house at 1 o'clock to fix this or fix that, they generally show up at 1 o'clock. These folk here tell you they're going to be at your house at 1 o'clock. It might be 8 o'clock before they get there, 8 p.m. before they get there. It might even be the next day before they get there. They don't call you. They don't give you a heads up. They don't say nothing. They just show up. And then, and so it takes some patience. You gotta get, if you're an impatient person and you a stickler on time, Mexico may not be for you. I had to learn, I've always been a patient guy. I had to learn a whole new level of patience. It gets frustrating sometimes. You stop what you're doing to break your neck to get back home so you can be here at 2 o'clock because the man said he's gonna be here at 2 o'clock. And then you sitting here waiting, and then he don't show up until the next morning. So I got to a point now, I'm like, man, I get back home when I get home. If they there, they there. If they ain't there, they ain't there. I'll get there when I get there. That's where I'm at now. I've adapted. When in Rome, do what the Romans do. How they do. So be prepared for that. So they work on their own time. I do feel, now that I've gotten used to it, I'm not uptight like I used to be, because I had to understand this is their culture. Everybody here gets a tip. If they out there cutting the grass or maintaining the property, somebody will just come randomly knock on your door and they ask you for some water. And you give them some water. You give them a soda. There's a guy when you're in the parking lot and you backing out your car, and you waving a little red flag, helping you back out. You give that guy a tip for helping you back out the car. I mean, everybody gets a tip. You go to Home Depot, you buy some stuff, you roll out the door with your stuff. There's some guys in front of the store, they'll run to you and help you carry your stuff out and load it up in your car. They get a tip. The trash man, they will try you. The trash man, they come pick your trash up, they will knock on your door and ask you for a tip if you fall for it. So again, these are just little things that you get familiar with, but it's their culture. I kind of appreciate it, apparently, and I don't know much about this. So like I have a maid that come by a couple of days. She comes over, clean up, and wonderful job. But apparently during Christmas time, you pay them extra, or I don't know the math. I don't know how the numbers work out, but they get like an extra month of pay, or whatever, however the number work out. So it's like some kind of bonus. So everybody gets it. The trash man gets a tip. The mailman get a tip. The groundsman get a tip. The waterman get a tip. Everybody gets a little Christmas. You know what I mean? So I actually appreciate that. You know what I mean? Folks taking care of each other in a sense. It's what that's about. So again, different ways of life. You come here, you have to adjust, you have to adapt. You're not in America, you're not in Canada, you're not in Australia, you're not in Europe, you're in Mexico. They're not gonna do it your way. I will say people appreciate you when you attempt to make an effort to speak to them in Spanish. And if they realize that you're butchering the language, but you're making an effort, if they speak English, they will help. And generally other people close by who know English generally will step in and help. I had a lady do that at the furniture store the other day. She's like, oh, I speak English. I can translate anything if you need help. English was flawless. So you have people that step up and help out. Unlike us, back at home in the United States, if a person who speaks Spanish and don't know English, if they're in line trying to communicate, folk get mad, start hollering at them, calling them names, go back to where you came from. We're not as patient as they are here. I'm so grateful at how patient they are when they deal with me butchering the language. I've had no problem from anybody looking at me sideways or becoming impatient because I didn't understand the language. So that's appreciative. So make the effort to learn the language. It certainly will get you a lot further or farther or further. I keep forgetting which way that goes. It will get you further or farther along. Again, assimilating into local community, it just opens up the door for you to do more stuff. Our Spanish is getting better. The kids are taking Spanish classes now. I'm taking Spanish classes. And we have a wonderful teacher. She is great. My Spanish is greatly improving. I'm understanding more now. Each day I'm more confident in talking. I communicate way better than I did just a month ago and 2 months ago, night and day. I feel very confident that by December, which is a few months, I will be talking great. I was sitting down talking the other day in Spanish, and I was like, man, my mom would be so proud of me. Carl, you speaking in Spanish. You know what I mean? I impress myself sometimes. I'm like, wow, I just really communicated that. Hey, they probably see you dancing in the window, and you distracting me. Y'all go somewhere, get out my line of sight. If you want to come downstairs, come downstairs. Let's speed it up. I'm waiting on you. Thank you, darling. So this is why I always talk about making money online. Everybody think things got to be perfect. It don't. You got kids, they run around the house making noise, causing a distraction or making a ruckus. Man, don't let that stop you from moving forward. Just keep going like I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So that's another topic. So what was I saying? Yeah, so we're taking Spanish classes and we getting better and better by the week. Part of the process. I wouldn't come here and I met a guy from Canada the other day that he been here 11 years. He don't speak Spanish. I remember that? Huh? Who was that with me? Yeah. 11 years. How you gonna be here 11 years in Mexico and don't know no Spanish? And got a Mexican girlfriend. Or did he say that was his wife? I can't remember. How you here for 11 years and got 10 years and got a Mexican girlfriend and you don't know no Spanish? Happens, I guess. But again, you don't need to be perfect in Spanish. You don't even need to know Spanish to get by here, but it would go a long way and help you out. But I wouldn't let that stop you from coming here, because you can adapt and learn it once you get here. In fact, I would say in full immersion is probably better. That quicker way to learn Spanish. What else? Just looking at been here in this place of mine for about almost 2 months now. Finally started furnishing the place. Got a sofa, got a television, got a dining room table, got a couple of desks, got some beds upstairs, and I said I wanted the business to kind of fund a lot of this stuff. I didn't want to spend personal monies. Want to kind of make a business model work, and still trying to carve out a business model. I'm doing more consulting now. So I enjoy the advising phase, particularly with startups or helping people figure out how they can move their existing business forward. So just to give you some ideas, I made about $2,500 last week just in consulting from local folks, actually, local people that are living here, not local Mexican people, but local from multiple expats that are here in the community looking to grow their online business. So I made about $2,500. I charge a high fee for consulting. Consulting starts at around $377 for an hour. And it also depends on, and then I also have another consulting package that starts at $777 for an hour. So depending on what you're needing would determine the type of consulting package. And the reason I charge high, one, I know what I'm doing. I got the experience in the background to help people move forward faster. But when you charge $777 from consulting, you don't need a lot of folks. You don't need a lot of clients, a lot of customers to make money. I'm not one of these guys who will go charge $50 an hour to talk to you. I would need, what, 20? What's that? 20, where's my calculator? Hold on. My brain ain't working. 2,550. Yeah. Is that right? It almost look like that can't be right, but it's right. At $50 an hour, I need to talk to 50 of y'all. 50 of y'all to make that same $2,500. I ain't trying to talk to 50 folk. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't. So when you charge high, you generally can get less. You definitely get less people, but you don't need a whole bunch of folk to make a lot of money. So the reason I bring this up, not to brag, but to say that most of you all have some knowledge and talents and skill sets and experience and background that will allow you to start yourself a consulting business. Some of y'all are into eating healthy. Some of y'all are into self-care, self-help, self-healing. A lot of I tell you what, a lot of folks here that I met, particularly expats, a lot of folks here are dealing with trauma. So if you have some experience in helping folks deal with trauma, and not even necessarily trauma, self-care, meditation, yoga, nutritional eating better with nutrition, healing modalities, you can position yourself as a consultant and charge a good chunk of money if you can create the value and prove that you have value that can help move some of these folks forward. A lot of folks are hurting, a lot of folks in pain. Not pain physically, but mentally, trauma. So this is an opportunity. So consulting, setting yourself up as a consultant or coach is a great way to make money. So I'm talking about this because a lot of folks ask, how can they make money? I've always believed the fastest way to make money online, if you have a website and you have any sort of following, is simply by adding a consultation link to your website, and you can start consulting with people and people will start to pay you. The problem I see, many folks, they charge too little. And like I broke the numbers down. I had to write it down because I kept saying 50 in my head. I'm like, no, you don't need 50 folks to make 25. No. If I'm talking to 50 folks in a week, man, I go crazy. If I'm talking to 50 folks in a month, if I was talking to 50 folks in 3 months, I go crazy. I don't want to talk to them many folks. So consulting is a good option. You just have to create the value, and you have to believe that you're good enough and that what you have is of value. You know what I mean? If I've helped multiple startups reach 7-figure phases, $1 million, $2, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million range, I'm good at that. I know what I'm doing. I see things that the average person or business owner just don't see. So my little $777 ain't nothing if you're gonna make a boatload of money. If I can show you how to earn $25,000 and you have no business, and I can show you how to make $25,000 over the next 12 months, $777 ain't nothing. And so you got to believe what you have is of value. So that is just one way you can earn a living. It's just by sharing your expertise. And just by being here in Mexico or in a foreign country already puts you at an advantage, because a lot of folks that are watching you are back at home in their own countries, US, Canada, Australia, Europe, or wherever. They want to be where you are. They want to be doing what you're doing. So if you're backpacking across South America, if you're skiing the resorts in this place or surfing the best beaches in the world, or if you're just traveling and hitting up all the provinces in China or whatever, people want to learn how to do that. They want to do that. They're watching you. They're following you. You already have an advantage. You need to leverage that. You know what I mean? Because you are living the dream. You're living the life. You're doing the thing they want. And the fact that you're doing it, you can show them the map, the road map. So position yourself as a consultant. Offer consulting, offer coaching, and everything. And I can go in depth about that later on, but that's a whole nother topic. I have a teaching model that I'm put together to show folks how to do that if they want to know how to do that. If you're interested in that, message me and send me a message on Facebook or YouTube, or email me support at moveabroadandthrive.com. So what else? I got some notes here. So if you're moving here, expats, so there's a lot of things to know, a lot of stuff you need to be aware of. There are a bunch of expat groups that you can join. So I would recommend whatever country you're going to, if you're going to Spain or Colombia or Medellin, hypothetically, look on Facebook groups. They're generally expat groups of people living in Medellin or Ibagué or Merida. You'll find a bunch of groups dedicated to expats wanting to move to those countries. So jump in those Facebook groups, read comments, hit the search bar, find places to rent, find out how to rent a place, what side of town to live in, what side of town to stay away from. You'll generally find all that feedback and data in these Facebook groups. And the groups are a great resource. Generally, many of these groups have a few thousand members in the group that are living here. So these are boots on the ground. I find that people have lots of anxiety, lots of stress from unknown variables. When you don't know something, that's when you get stressed out. I always say do your research and find the answer. And that anxiety and stress level goes away. It goes away when you know the answer. So I would encourage you to do that. Now, the other downside to Facebook groups is that you start mingling with other expats. Now, this is my opinion. Some folks may disagree, but it's my opinion, and I'm gonna say this. I learned this, let's say when I was in Colombia. You're gonna find a lot of, and I mentioned this earlier, a lot of these expats that come here, and not just necessarily expats, because most of them ain't expats. Many of them are just travelers, just bouncing around and going back home. You'll find a lot of these folks have trauma. They're dealing with some stuff. Many of them are running away, hiding, running from problems, dodging the law. So you gotta be very careful who you deal with. And because again, folks are just dealing with stuff. And most folks are not honest about the stuff that they're dealing with. That's why it's important to know what your reason is for coming or moving or living in these different places. You gotta have a plan and a strategy. You gotta know your why so that you don't get thrown off track and thrown off focus. Me personally, I suggest if you wanna learn Spanish and if you wanna assimilate into the community quickly and acclimate, the best thing to do is spend more of your time, spend less time with expats and spend more time with local culture. Get involved in local activities, bowling, join the bowling team. There's a lady here who's on the bowling team. Join classes, take classes, go to school, whatever you're into. If you're into archery, join the archery club. If you're into, I don't know if they got gun ranges here, I imagine they do. Go to the gun range. If you are into photography, join a photography club. Go to whatever. Start to get to know the local folks and spend your time with them. The reason why that's important is because most of the local folks are staying. They're not moving, they're not leaving. What you'll find with many of these expats and travelers, they'll come, they'll stay for a month or two, and then they bounce out of here and go on to the next place. And then the danger of that is that you start building a relationship with some of these folks, and before you know it, they're leaving. And now you start to feel like you're missing out on something. They start talking about, oh, we're going to Thailand, we're going to Vietnam, we're going to Switzerland, we're going to Finland, we're going to Iceland. You're going to start to think you're missing out on some stuff because that's what all of them are doing. They passing through. And so, and if you're not clear on your purpose, you can get caught up in living through, trying to follow through and live through their dreams. And you think you're gonna miss out on something. Then you're gonna miss those friends that you formed those relationships with. Then you're gonna be ready to go. Then you're gonna be homesick, missing out on your friends because now everybody leaving. Be careful with that. Get to spend time knowing and learn, dealing with local folk. Learn, talk to your neighbors. Go to church. Find something to do. Join the knitting club if that's what you into. It don't matter what you're into. So my kids in the ballet, we got invited to a couple of theater shows as a result. I met some, who was this? I'm trying to remember his profession. It'll come back to me. But my daughter go play guitar. Every time we go to the guitar lessons, we get to learn more about the people. Hey, Cartez, how you doing? Now, after a while, you running into the store, you running into folks that you know. Like, hey, man, what's up, man? You know what I mean? So get to know folks, talk to them. The pool guy that, you know, before I fired him, you know, we started chit-chatting online quite often. And, but this guy just wouldn't show up and do the job. So, but he turned me on to somebody and, you know, another contact, and we talk. You know what I mean? So making relationships with local folks, I think that's very important, goes a long way. But I do have a small core group of expats that I hang out with. Very small. I like this little lot, this small lot. You gotta be strategic in who's in your little circle. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of times these expats will host events, or the groups will post events where all the other expats get together. Again, be mindful, be careful. Again, you're dealing with a lot of folk that get trauma, they dealing with stuff, and sometimes it turns into like a high school scene, a popular clique, group of folks. You just gotta be careful. I got into it with somebody in one of these groups, administrator, and I let my temper get the best of me. I cursed her out. I wouldn't say I cursed her out. They said I cursed her out. I made a comment that, you know, and I apologized. I shouldn't have said it. You know, I made a comment, said, yeah, now I understand why everybody call you a bitch and an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't have said it. And one of the other administrators, I guess, felt he had to defend her honor, came at me demanding that I need to apologize and all of that, which I apologize because I shouldn't have said it, you know. But, you know, I've been posting stuff in this group and posting content. You know, I walk around my video camera, my phone, recording different neighborhoods, different parts of town, different things to do, and I posted inside the group. So, you know, a couple of times they banned me saying I was posting too much, and I'm like, posting too much? I'm like, in my mind, good content. Then it turned into I was doing too much. I was self-promoting myself. And I'm like, self-promoting, okay. You know, it's for the first 2-3 months I was here, I didn't have a website to promote. I wasn't promoting a YouTube channel. But they said I was doing too much self-promotion, so they blocked me, banned me from posting. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I asked them straight up. I was like, so what's the rule? So I can't, what am I doing wrong? You know, so the next video I made sure I didn't mention my company name, nothing. There was a video of me showing a neighborhood. I was showing a local neighborhood. The video before that was me at the airport showing folks, hey, explaining to folks that you can't use Uber to catch a ride from the airport, that you had to use the taxis or a private driver. You know, so I made that video. And so one of the administrators that I didn't know was an administrator just popped up in my Facebook inbox, in the little message section, and she wrote Monday, all caps and exclamation marks. I don't know if it was all caps, but all exclamation marks at the end. And I'm like, who the hell is this? I don't even know who this is. They didn't say nothing. They just wrote Mondays, in all explanation marks. And I'm like, who are you? I was like, what happens on Monday? And then she says, self-promotion. You promote yourself on Monday. So I was already irritated that this person would just pop up in my inbox without even saying who they are. Hey, I'm an administrator of this group. I'm just letting you know you need to, any self-promotion stuff, you need to do it on Monday. They couldn't do that. They just show up in my inbox slamming Mondays in exclamation marks. I get arrogance will make you believe that everybody should know who you are. I didn't know who she was. And so after she made, after I asked what happened on Monday, then she was like, you need to do this. So I went back online, looked, and I realized she was an administrator. So the next day I made a few days later, I made another video without any mention of anything that was self-promotion. And they deleted my video, they banned me from posting, they banned me from leaving comments. And so I reached out to another administrator, and I was like, what did I do wrong? Because in this video, there's no self-promotion. I'm like, I don't understand. There's people on this group posting their menus about food that they can cook. You can buy their plates. So they posting their menus throughout the week. They're posting, people got stuff they trying to sell because they moving. They posting stuff like that. Some girl posting, cash out me some money. There's a flooding disaster in Costa Rica. And I'm explaining it to the other moderator. I'm like, we ain't even in Costa Rica. This person don't even live here. I'm like, but y'all harassing me about posting a video about what the north side of town looked like. Like I said, maybe a couple of my videos I might have had something like visit our website at Move Abroad and Thrive. So I was talking to her about that. And then she told me that the other moderator would follow up with me and explain some stuff to me. And so I'm like, okay. And so she was like, but hey, it's all good. We're talking about it now. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm still blocked. Am I allowed to post anything? And she said, well, I'll unblock you and you can post stuff back up. And I was like, okay, can I post that video? And so this girl, the other administrator, jumped back in and said, hey, I said I'll follow up with you. And I'll follow up with you later. It's Sunday. We're enjoying time with our family. And you don't need to be going back talking to other administrators about this. I said I'll talk to you back. I'll get back to you. So that's when I said, now I understand why everybody say you a bitch and an asshole. Because her tone, they hadn't talked to me like that. You know what I mean? And so they say I attacked them. You know what I'm saying? Here's the word they use. You snapped. Nah, I ain't snapped. No, this woman just felt that she could just talk to me any kind of old way. And while I'm trying to get it resolved with another person who I felt was more tactful and was more patient and more kinder in her approach, who wasn't showing up in my inbox talking about Monday, I felt it was better to talk to her. And, so that's what happened. So they say I snapped, I lost it, I blew my mind. And, technically I ain't even calling no bitch. I ain't even calling her asshole. I just said I understand why other folks say you a bitch and an asshole. So, because apparently, I don't even know the girl, but everybody talk about her. So, I removed myself from the group. And, it just have started doing things without them. So, but it's all good because it's their group. They can manage it any way they like. I admit my feelings was hurt when they was deleting my stuff. And I'm just like, why they deleting my stuff? I'm not doing anything. But then they claim I'm breaking all the rules. And, but when it's your platform, I guess you can do that. You can let whomever you want post when it's your platform. And so But I took it personal, and I shouldn't have. And I shouldn't have used those words towards that lady, but I did anyway. And so I felt bad about it that night. I couldn't sleep that night because I don't talk to people like that. I can count maybe 3 times I cussed anybody out or said anything, popped off at the mouth. In 47 years that I've been living, I probably only done that 3 times, and that was the 3rd time. And so I felt real bad about it. I apologize. I don't know if she got my apology. She probably blocked me after that. Because after I said what I said, I blocked her. And but I unblocked her to send the apology because it was due. And I do apologize to you, young lady, for saying that to you. But again, I just believe folks, when they come at you like that, and then they can't handle it, you know what I mean? You can't handle the consequences of me responding back to your tone, but again, regardless, I should have taken a higher road, but I was in my feelings. That's why I say I know I'm being called to ministry, but I still got some stuff that must be purged out. Because I shouldn't have let my feelings get in the way. And so, but that's what happened with that. But now I'm more conscious. I use these expat groups for resources and information. So I was telling you that story for a reason. Use the group for resources as a resource. Use the group for information. Don't get caught up in all the drama, because there is a lot of drama. Apparently there's more rumors going on about other stuff now, and not just that group, but all these groups. They get into it with each other about something. The other expat group, if you ask a question, they tend to attack you for asking questions. You know what I mean? So each of these groups have their own personality. So be mindful of that. Don't take any of that stuff personal, and make friends with locals. Get it, use the information as you need it, but start building relationships with locals. That's going to take you a long way. I understand using these resources in the beginning, but in the end, you're going to be better off dealing and building relationships with locals. I didn't leave America to come hang out with 100% Americans. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against my brothers and sisters from America, black, white, Asian, whatever. No, but I want to acclimate into local culture, society, and learn the language and be a valuable contributing member to this community. And so that's me. Some of y'all might agree with it, some of you might not. So my feelings ain't hurt, if our opinions clash on this. What else? So know what your goals are. Expats come and go. Oh, another thing, I was talking about some pros and cons. Many of the businesses here don't have websites. Their Google listings aren't updated. Oftentimes you'll go somewhere and the business no longer exists. They don't update them. The times are wrong. It's hot out here. But again, there's so many other perks and benefits that outweigh these things. All of these things are small nuances that's just annoying, but it doesn't take away that this is a wonderful community, beautiful place, beautiful people, safe place, great place to live, great place to raise a family, and just an overall great place to be. Forever Home will most likely be here in Merida. I like it that much. And again, probably we'll look at other places in other parts of Mexico, but for now, definitely this would be one spot where a Forever Home will be, and I like it. So if you got questions, feel free to ask. I'm still learning. I'm trying to get a bank account. Went to get one today, but didn't work out. However, I met somebody else who referred me to another bank, and if things go well tomorrow, I will have a local bank account on my tourist visa, because I don't have a temporary residence card yet. I'm gonna be working on that in the next couple of months before my 6 months are up. And that's another thing. If you're gonna move here, if you think you're gonna be here for a while, go ahead, work on getting a permanent visa. A lot of folks apparently let their 6 months, right before their 6 months expire, they'll hop back across the border, stay for a couple of days wherever they're at in another country, then come back and reset their visa for another 6 months. Immigration is starting to crack down on that a lot. They recognize that people are doing that. So if you plan on being here long term and see yourself living here, go ahead and start working on that permanent visa, the temporary residence visa, so that you can eventually get a permanent visa as well. And let's not game the system. It'll hurt you in the end. It's not expensive to get it done, so might as well just go ahead and do it. And so I'm gonna be working on mine in the next few months. And so just keep that in mind. Let's not game the system. Let's play by the rules, the same rules we want other folk to do when they come into our country. Let's play the rules by doing the right thing here. Plus, when you get your visa, it opens up more opportunities and resources for you. So it's a benefit to getting that visa. So do that, such as getting a bank account easily, and other things that go along with it. So that's that. Otherwise, I'll just continue to ramble. If you have questions, feel free to post them beneath the video. Ask me what you want. That way I can have some ideas of what type of videos y'all want. And, so let me know what you need. I'm open. I'm transparent. I'll tell you the truth, and nothing to hide here. So let's make this work. Thanks for watching MoveAbroadAndThrive.com. I'm Cartes Ross. Woo!